I like his line. First of all, you never go wrong with Magic. I don't give a shit what nobody says.
On today's Wind Up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches podcast, Dr. Adams and Coach Francis discuss Brittney Griner's return, conduct their annual explanation of the NCAA net rankings, much to Coach franchise chagrin, as well as preview the upcoming week in college and pro basketball. Welcome to today's show.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today, my tag team partner as we celebrate Kofi Kingston becoming the winningest tag team wrestler championship-wise in WWE. So he is the R-Truth to my Kofi Kingston, the icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How you doing?
Man, I am having a good time. I am on the road. We got a tournament at Spooky Nook. Shout out to all the fine folks at the Homewood Suites, especially Jordan and Tamiko, who have taken care of me as we go to the lobby for treats and snacks and the things I forget because I'm not traveling with my wife. So anyway, on today's wind-up,
things I forget.
Man, you know Muff takes care of me, so I'm traveling by myself with the boy, and you'll be amazed at the things we forget when she's not here. So I'll just leave. Oops. All right, so on today's Wind Up Wednesday episode, we're going to talk about Brittney Griner and how happy we are that she is home, but all of the things that come with that. We're going to talk about John Wall's return to D.C., Fans, we are going to do our annual explanation of the net rankings for my partner to be absolutely, positively irritated, but that's how they pick them. And we'll preview the upcoming week in professional and college basketball. But let's start off, man. Welcome home, BG. Now let's have the conversation. How do we feel? How do we feel, folks? I know how you should feel, but we're going to have this conversation. And Mike, what are your thoughts on Brittney Griner's return and the noise surrounding it?
It's very, very difficult situation, which I understand. It sounds like there is no options for anyone else to come home. Also heard that the previous administration had an opportunity for another individual to come home, and they did not agree to terms either. It's just something that's ongoing, and it's definitely a horrible situation for everyone involved, to all our U.S. citizens who are held abroad. They're held abroad about their, against their will. So it's a lot to it, and I hope our listeners can benefit from your talk about foreign policy and how that works.
Yeah. So fans of the show, new listeners, Dr. Adams is first Keith Adams, history major, Bowie State University, former resource teacher. I have studied history in great detail. My undergrad work was on the Treaty of Versailles and how that document started World War II, and study of Russian history from the revolution on 1917. And I won't go into too much detail with that, but I wanted you to know I'm speaking as someone who studied history, and foreign policy is difficult and it's challenging. And if you have control of the situation, you have to understand that the best deal you can make is the deal you can make. And that's foreign policy. The best deal you can make is the deal you can make. So it has been reported widely what the U.S. tried to do and how the U.S. tried to get back as many citizens as it could. But Russia, who holds the cards in this situation, there will be other situations where we hold the cards, but right now, for this situation, that's the deal they wanted to make. So that's the deal we had to take. So then what caused me pause, Mike, was the valuing of one life over another, and that's never what we're trying to do. It's all bad when we have our citizens held abroad. So again, we're very pleased that BG's home. We wish safety and security for everyone else who was held abroad. But some of the commentary was just, quite frankly, to me, misinformed because you don't know how foreign policy works. And I'm not in an inner workings of foreign policy, but I've studied it enough to know that you make the deal you can make. And we had to get her home, and we have to get everybody home. So I appreciate you giving me some time to have that conversation. But we both were paused at some of the negative energy that came out there, and it was like, man, do y'all get it? So, all right, moving back to on-court issues. What's the holdup? Golden State Warriors president of basketball operations, Bob Myers, who is the architect of 4 NBA championships in 8 years. I think that's a pretty good resume. Is entering into the final months of his contract and remains without a new deal, according to media sources. How come this dude don't? What are y'all doing? Golden State's ownership and Myers, who is also a 2-time NBA Executive of the Year, have had conversations about a new contract, but those talks are on hiatus. Again, he's won 4 championships in 8 years and 2-time Executive of the Year. And what are we talking? What's the holdup? What are we missing? Okay, his contract is supposed to expire June at the end of the season. The Warriors have also broached the concept of an extension with 4-time championship coach Steve Kerr, who's got 2 years left on his deal. And unlike Myers, because Kerr has time left on his contract, they're kind of slow with it. Golden State is facing a blow-up kind of situation, Mike. They are anticipated to be $500 million in payroll and luxury tax next year. And you might want to lock that guy up so you can deal with all the impending free agencies and everything that's coming up. Any thoughts about the holdup with Golden State and Bob Myers? What are you doing?
Sounds like Reinsdorf or somebody is involved in this. It sounds like trying to break up the Bulls. We got another last dance going on. What the hell?
Well played, sir.
Well,
Well played.
It sounds like to me, these egos get involved at some point. Money produces egos.
Well played. So the next thing is, why is this a story? Do you like his lineup? Steph Curry was recently named Sports Illustrated 2022 Sports Person of the Year. Okay, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
During his conversation with the SI, he was asked to put together his all-time starting 5. His all-time starting 5. Not the all-time starting 5 of all time, who he would like to play with. There was one stipulation. Curry had to include himself. Okay. So he said, I'm the point guard. I'm going to go with Magic so we can play hybrid guards because Steph really wants to play 2. I ain't mad at him.
Not at all.
I don't want that responsibility either. Okay. You got to have Michael. I'm thinking he's got Michael because somebody's got to guard somebody, and he doesn't feel like doing it. Again, he's got Dirk for spacing the floor and shooting the ball. Okay. If you watch Golden State play, they play kind of a Euro kind of way of playing. Okay. And then 5, he's got Shaq Diesel holding it down in the middle. So it's looking like a 4-round 1 kind of situation. And that's today's basketball. And that's how he constructed the lineup. And people went nuts. Where's LeBron? Should be LeBron. Should be. Doug, they asked him a question. He said this and kept it moving. So 1, why is everybody mad? And 2, do you like his lineup?
I like his lineup. First of all, you never go wrong with Magic. I don't give a shit what nobody says.
LeBron's a better man.
LeBron and Magic is the same basketball player. Can we please, except for LeBron's way more athletic. But no, seriously, they both are facilitators, both are great leaders. It's just LeBron's athletic. You take Jordan's athleticism, put it in Magic Johnson's body, you got LeBron.
Yeah, so I think there's too much noise about this. The more I am out, and I'm at a basketball tournament now, the more I'm seeing how the game is being played right now. And I'm seeing how successful I would be coaching because I love what Virginia's doing. Virginia's running a pack line defense. So with all of the hucking and chucking and whatever, that pack line's kicking people's teeth in right now because they're guarding and every shot's contested and you're going to get one shot only. So if I'm having a team like that, I do want a Steph Curry on my team because I need to stretch out the defense. And man, this guy is in range when he crosses half court. And hell, if you looked at the video, he's in range before he crosses half court.
Right.
I do like the Dirk pick. I would have picked KD because what KD does is he's 7 foot tall, so you can't put a midget on him because he's going to shoot over him, and you can't put a big guy on him because he's going to go by him. So I would kind of have a KD there. I do want a defensive-minded center, but I want one that can move a little bit. So I would do a Duncan kind of thing, so I can move him a little bit, and he can still post up and so forth. Because I'm still a fan of 4-round one, because you as a coach, not you, Mike, but most coaches don't teach people how to play defense in the post. So if my big guy can go sit in front of the rim and still can contain and challenge on the perimeter, now I beat you because you can't do anything against me on offense, and I can stop you with that pack line on defense. So I like what he did, and I'm comfortable with it, and it appears you are too. So
exactly.
I love just talking basketball and okay, this is what I would do, but yeah, no pitchforks and knives. Why is this trending on Twitter? This is not an insult to anyone. This is a question and an answer, and thank you. So last part of segment one, still my city. Still my city. John Wall came back to DC. During the game, early in the game, he stole the ball, sank a jumper. Team was on a little bit of a run, and he just screamed out, "This is still my city." Crowd pops, all of that. Well, fans for a long time, CKA were season ticket holders to the Washington Wizards around the time John Wall came. I have an autographed John Wall basketball in my office, thinking that in 2010, 2011, this was going to be, a collector's item or something. And sometimes it just doesn't. But I'm appreciative that the DC fans were very kind to him upon his return. He did invest in the city. It just didn't work. And sometimes it doesn't work. But what are your thoughts on John Wall's return back to DC?
I'm glad to see that he came back, and I think he was received well, don't you?
He was received very well.
I just, with the management and the things and the choices that they made, you really can't hold him accountable for. You can't. So
yeah. So Mike, I gotta ask before we close the segment. I know I was very humbly honored by my high school and still surprised. And at Hood College, we're also in the Hall of Fame. So just watch their practice. Shout out to Chad and the boys up there. So at two of the places I'm received well. There's no problems at Springbrook, but I was only there 3 years and I was only at Wooten 2. But you've been at some places sometime and have left. How are you received upon your return? Is it similar to the love that John Wall got? Or is it something we'll just skip to segment 2, sir? Talking about coming back.
It's oof. I've never really going back to North County. The people who were there when I was there always received me well. Most everyone at Old Mill the same. But it's funny. The biggest issue I have is at the school that I graduated from. And that's because I went to those other schools, kind of like when I went to Old Mill, it's one of Meade's rivalry. When I went to North County football, it was one of the rivalries. So
that's funny that you say that, because I coached the two rivals and it was the time where it was kind of like still a rivalry. So I kind of almost had to get permission to say, hey, you may go, kind of thing. Well, my brother was, coaching, and I mean, my basketball brother, Walter Hardy, who I miss all the time. So that's interesting that you'll say that. So
yeah, it is. It depending on the sport, like football became a rivalry in North County because Chuck Barkowitz, who was the coach at Meade and coached me at Meade, took myself, Brad Wilson, who was a coach at Meade, my brother, we all went to North County when it opened up. So that became a rivalry. And then basketball wise, Meade and Old Mill opened up around the same time. Our neighborhoods are really, really like literally across. You live on this side of Disney or that side of Disney. It dictates what school you go to. Meade on this side, Old Mill. So a lot of neighborhood rivalries with that. But basketball was the major rivalry for Old Mill and Meade. Football for Meade and North County, and I end up coaching at both of those schools. So.
All right, so fans, upon our return, and thank you for letting us travel down memory lane, we're going to talk about the net rankings and why they're important and why my partners still think it stinks. And we'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
There is an old business adage that says, what gets measured and monitored gets done. It is also fact that deadlines spur action. That is what the CKA Save Project Academic Monitoring Service can do for student athletes. Measure and monitor their academic progress to improve their grades. Our academic monitoring services provide ongoing academic support for student athletes for a designated period of time. Our academic success coaches work with student athletes on time management and organizational skills, along with improving their ability to self-advocate. Every few weeks, our academic success coaches meet with student athletes to assess their academic progress as well as provide ongoing academic advising. If needed, student athletes have access to CKA Learning Specialists who provide virtual core subject academic support for student athletes. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 2. We're just going to explain what the college basketball net rankings are, and when you see it happening, you're going to understand. All right, so let me explain this. The NCAA evaluation tool, the net rankings, that's how they get to the net. NCAA evaluation tool is the primary sorting tool for evaluating teams for the NCAA tournament. My information comes from the NCAA, so you can follow all of this if you like. They're based on two metrics: the team value index, the TVI, which is a result-based feature that rewards teams, for beating quality opponents, particularly away from home. So road wins are good, okay? And then the second metric is the adjusted net efficiency rating. The adjusted efficiency is a team's net efficiency adjusted for strength of opponent and location, home, away, neutral, across all games played. For example, a given efficiency value, net points per 100 possessions, against stronger opposition rates higher than the same efficiency against lesser opponents, and having a certain efficiency on the road rates higher than having the same efficiency at home. See how easy that is to follow, fans? The net includes more components than just winning percentage. It takes into account game results, strength of schedule, game location, scoring margin, net offense and defensive efficiency, and the quality of wins and losses. Please note that game dates and game order are not included in net rankings, so stop telling me that you finished the last 8 out of 10 with wins, because no one cares with the net. And that's probably one of the reasons why Mike is like, I hate this thing, because we don't care about the calendar. So now, Mike, I'm going to talk about the quadrant system.
Oh my God. That kid's this.
Using the quadrant system, the quality of wins and losses will be organized based on game location and the opponent's net rankings. Quadrant 1. Home 1 through 30, neutral 1 through 50, away 1 through 75. So if you hear that that's a good quad 1 win, that's what we're talking about. That's the best of the best. Quad 2, home 31 through 75, neutral 51 through 100, away 76 through 135. That's a decent win, decent loss. Shouldn't lose too much off of it. Then we go quad 3. This is when we get in trouble. Stop it. Home 76 through 160, neutral 101 to 200, away 135 to 240. And again, these are rankings. So if you're losing to teams ranked in quad 3, it's not a good thing. And then quad 4, these are the bottom of the bottom. Home 161 to 353, neutral 201 to 353, away 241 to 353. So there's 353 teams in Division I basketball, and you're trying to get good rankings. Okay. So the number of quad 1 wins and the number of quad 3-4 losses will be incredibly important when it comes to the NCAA tournament selection seeding. And you'll hear that this is a bad loss. And that's what they mean with this is a bad loss. Before we introduce the first rankings, Mike, any thoughts about the net rankings, man? Now that it's been fully explained, as an educator, you can appreciate the time and the effort that has gone into.
Man, we've been talking about bad losses forever. That's not new.
But now there's statistical analysis on the bad loss.
Well, it sounds like statistical analysis, same thing that murdered baseball. So analytics, same thing murdered baseball, made baseball boring. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we're not going to do all of them. And this is as of December 9th. Stop it.
Jesus.
This is as of December 9th. So by the time this comes out, the qual ratings will be updated. So, all right, men's. Houston is number 1, and they just lost to Alabama, but that's not a bad loss because Alabama has a good net ranking. So Houston is still in the mix. UConn's number 2. They're playing well, and they're beating people. Purdue is number 3.
Who are they beating?
They are beating quad 1 and quad 2 opponents, sir. Purdue is number 3. Tennessee is number 4. And Mississippi State, as of the first net rankings, are number 5. On the women's side, maybe you'll appreciate the quad rankings now.
Yes.
South Carolina is number 1. Yes. And South Carolina has played people. That road win at Maryland, that's a good victory because of that's a quad 1 win.
And what analytics, what you needed to know that? You needed all this formula to know that South Carolina winning at Maryland.
I didn't book it, man.
Win.
I'm just working it.
Come on, man.
Stanford's number 2. Indiana's number 3. LSU is number 4, and UConn is number 5. UConn might be the best basketball program in the country because their men and women are both in the top 5 of the net rankings. Okay? So as we close this segment, Mike,
thank God.
Do you still hate the net ranking?
Yes. Yeah.
But I explained it. I went through step by step. I gave you charts. I gave you graphs.
I don't need no algorithm to know that South Carolina women's basketball is good. I don't need that. I don't need to check no chart. All I gotta do is watch them. These eyes are as good as any algorithm. This is the original algorithm, right?
All right. So, fans, we will check net rankings throughout the week now that you know what they are. And when the NCAA tournament comes and your favorite team is not in it, you can now know the reason why. And we told you in early December. And we'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast as we stress data-driven decision-making. And in segment 3, let's get to the week ahead. All right, top 3 teams in the Eastern Conference right now. Boston, Bucks, and Cavs. No net rankings in the NBA. The middle 3, Hawks, Knicks, and Raptors. And Mike, I'm going to pause because everybody keeps telling me about the Hawks. And I keep telling you, I don't care. There's going to come a point where they have to play defense and they can't do it. And good luck with that. They are just a middling old team. They'll make the playoffs, play in, 6 seed, whatever. And that they should have won when they could. And the bottom 3, chasing Wembayama, Charlotte, Magic, and the Pistons. Keep an eye in the East on Boston, although they did lose to Golden State. It's a good loss. This is NCAA. That'd be a quad 1 loss. The Bucks and the Nets are playing better now that the Kyrie stuff has quieted down. Any thoughts on the Eastern Conference, sir? Anybody catch your eye?
Who? No, I'm joking. Boston is still Boston. They looked pretty good, except for last night. Golden State did give it to them a little bit, but I definitely will take Boston in there. I gotta watch the Knicks. I haven't seen them play but once this year, but
sorry.
But shit, by the rankings now, they'd be in the playoffs though, right?
Yeah, they would be in the play-in.
Right.
Yeah, they'd be in the play-in.
Come on, man. Domination is no longer necessary. Mediocrity rules the day.
Yes, yes, indeed. Moving to the Western Conference. You ain't gonna believe this, fans, but the New Orleans Pelicans are the number 1 team as of this show taping. Now, whether it lasts as long as this show taping, congratulations to the Pelicans. And yes, fans, Zion is 20 games in, almost halfway there. Okay, we still got our fingers crossed. Memphis is 2, and Denver is 3. Mike, I'm gonna tell you, Denver is 3 right now. The Denver Nuggets. Okay, with the 2-time reigning most valuable player of the National Basketball Association, Nikola Jokic. Anyway, in the middle 3, Clippers, who just came to town. Shout out to Niece Jasmine. And Paul George, John Wall, and Kawhi Leonard played in the same game. Ain't that something? Okay. The Warriors are 8. They're playing better, and the Jazz are 9. So I told you, Mike, they weren't going to keep that thing up, and they're going to keep dropping. Bottom 3, Lakers. Why are the Lakers still in the bottom 3? I don't know.
Shit. You don't know? You ain't seen them?
Okay. Spurs are 14. Rockets are 15. Keep an eye on New Orleans and Memphis. I do have to say, what are your thoughts on Zion and the extra mustard on the dunk at the end of the game?
Love it.
That Bush League, or you love it?
Love it.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
They showed you the video of last year where he was really engaged. He was standing up during the game. They lost. Phoenix took, they was happy about it. They put him out, and he reminded everybody. He remembers the look on the faces of his teammates. He's been frustrated. He's been out. He felt, he wasn't able to help his team last year because of his injuries. And he, gave his fan base something to be happy about. They're number 1 now.
Yes.
If it was somebody else, the Suns probably wouldn't have reacted, but they didn't like the fact that New Orleans to me, it was like, I ain't taking your shit no more. We here. I'm not little brother no more.
Yeah.
Let's start this thing. Let's go. This is a message for the rest of the season. And Phoenix, you wasn't happy? Do something about it the first 50 minutes of the game. Don't get mad now.
Yes, and as somebody who holds athletic grudges, as my former teammate Butch says, like a dog with a bone, I can't say nothing.
Nope.
I can't say anything. Go on, young fella, but know that you're gonna play them again,
Right.
and
And
I
that's
hope
why he
you
did
you
it.
battle. I hope you buckle up next time you play me.
Did you see his game though? Did you see what he did that game?
He's
That was like a coming out party to me. That's why I
playing
was so
well.
happy to see him do it. He deserved it.
We just worried that he ain't gonna make it because the most games he's ever played, and that's how we got to the bet in the first place, is 61. That's the most he's ever played. So I don't know.
We'll see.
All right, college roundup. Here are the teams keep an eye on, fans, okay? Because they're winning and their
Did
net
you really
rankings
say
should go up.
UMass Lowell
Man, they're on a hot streak right now, buddy. They're on a hot streak right now.
against
So
Loyola?
stop that. UMass Lowell, Fordham, Virginia, UConn, Purdue,
You gonna-
Charleston, Princeton, New Mexico, UNLV, Utah State, Ryan Odom, formerly of UMBC, who orchestrated the greatest upset in the history of the NCAA tournament, is
and then
coaching
went
at
to
Utah State and went to Utah State. Would you go to Utah State or stay at UMBC?
I would have stayed at UMBC.
Uh,
I would have been more patient and took waited a little bit. Like
man, if he gets Utah State to the tournament,
if
somebody gonna call
you know
him.
what I said
And you know
about
his last
if.
name's Odom, right?
You know what I say about if, so let's not go there.
All right, but his last name's still Odom. Daddy. Sorry. He's doing a good job. He's earning it. So, you know. All right. Mississippi State and Marshall. So these are the teams to watch, especially strictly for entertainment purposes only. On the women's side, keep an eye on Rhode Island, Virginia, who's also having a good year. Virginia Tech, they're still winning, Mike. I got to see some more Virginia Tech women's games on our different sports apps. Kansas women, St. John's, Indiana, Ohio State, Rice, Cleveland State, Norfolk State still winning. Okay, could be an upset of tournament. USC, Utah, Arkansas, LSU, and hey, folks, keep an eye on South Carolina. Is that a surprise there? They're winning games though. All right, NBA games of the week. Friday, December 16th, Golden State travels to Philadelphia. Let's see how they do against the 76ers. On Saturday, December 17th, New Orleans plays Phoenix. Isn't that the rematch we were talking about? All right.
Is that quick?
Hey man, I'm gonna watch.
At Phoenix?
See
You heard?
All right. Men's college basketball.
That's the Saturday night game, probably. You know they
Probably.
do one.
Yeah. Friday, December 16th, Xavier is playing Georgetown. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about Georgetown, and Georgetown hasn't won a lot since then. A lot of chatter.
Yeah.
A lot of chatter. Tickets going for $12 at Capital One Arena. I did see that on the various ticket sites. Come on, Pat. Man, I'm rooting for you.
Don't
man.
blame
Come on,
Pat.
man. Come
Don't
on,
blame
bring it.
Pat. Don't blame Pat.
Who we gonna blame? If this was anybody else, you know he'd have been gone.
No, but it's not. I mean, they didn't assemble the right staff, in my opinion. I think you need to give them an opportunity now. They got Nickelberry there. Let him get some players in. I mean, that's just. I wouldn't judge him off this year. But the thing is, if kids keep leaving this new transfer portal, and they had one kid went in the portal like week one, went in the portal.
Which you didn't even know. You said, ooh.
That's a guy.
I was at the game.
Yeah, I was at the game and found it out. Like, what?
All right. Well, good luck, Hoya. Saturday, December 17th, Houston is playing Virginia in Charlottesville. That's a quality quad one game. Mike, that's quad one right there. Right there. That's it. That's what we want. I'm done, man. All right. Tennessee is the people.
Okay.
Tennessee is traveling to Arizona, and Indiana is going to Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and they're trying to impress folks.
They will get drubbed. They are going to get drubbed. Kansas is going to mollywop them.
All right.
This ain't Hoosiers, buddy.
On the women's side, Sam Houston on Friday, December 16th, is taking on Rice. I want to see the Rice women play, see how they're doing. And on Saturday, December 17th, Arkansas versus Creighton, 2 top 25 teams going at it. And that's the kind of matchup that the net rankings it's going to come back now.
I just knew it was coming. I could see it.
All right, before we close, sir, any final thoughts before we wrap up our Wind Up Wednesday episode?
That game Saturday going to be something, though. New Orleans and Phoenix. I definitely have to sit up and watch that next week. As far as UMass Lowell, they only have one loss. They lost to Rutgers by double digits. They beat all the Ivies that they played and all the Division II schools. All that.
They're on a winning streak, baby. They're on a winning streak.
You would be too if you had Binghamton and they'd be Binghamton, Boston U, Rhode Island, St. Francis.
Rhode Island's A-10.
Well, excuse me, they didn't beat them. They play next week.
Oh, okay.
St. Francis, UMass, LIU, Sacred Heart, Merrimack, Brown, Stonehill. Woo! Man, watch
I think
out.
Stonehill's Division II. Don't quote me. I think Stonehill's Division II.
They are. That's Quad 1, whatever the hell. Are they Quad 1 Division 2? Come on, man. Does Quad 1 Division 2 become Quad 4 Division 1? Man.
They're not going to win the tournament, but they're winning like 8 or 9 in a row, and they're hot. Keep an eye on them. Doesn't mean keep the season on them. It's just this week I'll peek at them, see how they're
take
doing.
Your whole
man.
$10, man. Stop it.
I don't bet 10 on basketball. It's only 5 on basketball. No. All right. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Muppet doesn't care for a reason. Coach Mike Francis.
It's $5 on the sport you know the most about. That's what gets
to
me.
win 4.
But $10 on football. I don't care.
Football is a bit television. It comes on once a week. Basketball's on all the time, man.
But you should bet more money on what you know than
strictly for entertainment purposes only. And stop trying to sound like following. Stop it. Fans, on behalf of my tag team partner who's trying to get me in trouble, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we will see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care. I got a tear.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.